This takes him into 0. Real boxer, real world champion boxer. That the only other time he was in, for the fans to get mad with, that was against Fury's Tommy Fury, but it wasn't that level, obviously, and all the size things you just rightfully pointed out. But he would have been in there with, you know, I mean, it seemed crazy.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has surprised fans with his new, powerful look before his fight with Jake Paul. Usually known for his compact body and strong punches, Davis has built a lot more muscle this time. Videos from his recent workouts show him looking bigger and stronger than ever, making many fans think he's getting ready to match Jake Paul's size and power.
You're yelling so much about him fighting someone, fight somebody your size. His next opponent is, by far, the most credentialed guy ever fought actively in his prime. There's one problem. He fights at 135 pounds. He fights at 130.
In preparation for his fight with Jake Paul, Gervonta "Tank" Davis has turned his training into a full battle against weakness. He's combining intense strength workouts, heavy sparring, and tough conditioning to support his bigger body. Videos and reports show that he's lifting heavier weights, especially doing compound exercises to build his core and upper body muscles. At the same time, he's still practicing his usual speed and footwork drills to stay quick. He's also sparring with bigger, stronger partners, even those close to heavyweight size, to get used to fighting larger opponents.
Yeah. This Santa Cruz right here, you can't let it burn, baby, let it burn. Mind over matter, son, mind over matter.
This is the blues on.
Ain't nobody doing no shit like this. Come in the desert. Nigga trying to stay away from the desert, he come in the desert.
When the night
Camera. Oh,
Okay, light, camera, action.
and fighting for
Light, action, cap.
Come on, Ted. Come on, Ted. Turn him out. Turn him out, Ted. Dig down in there. Dig down in there. 10 seconds. Don't think about it. Don't think about it. Remember that gun on it? They got that gun on that tank. They go, time.
when the night is cold and low.
He ain't gonna keep you here late tonight. Good job.
It's been hard being away from my daughter. You know, she actually here, she sleep. Just being away from her, it was a little touchy, but I know what I'm up, you know, up against. You know, I know that I got pay-per-view. You know, I know I'm fighting a tough opponent, so really I know how to lock in. I know how to shy away from everything. I know how to, like, I know how to fool around.
I said 10
No, don't do that. I can't go on TV looking like that.
However, Jake Paul is naturally a much heavier fighter, and the rules for their match set a maximum weight of 195 pounds, with both using 12-ounce gloves. Davis, who normally fights around 135 pounds, has to make up a huge difference in size and strength. This big gap has many people concerned. Critics say that gaining too much weight might slow Davis down and reduce his trademark speed and power, the key skills that make him such a dangerous boxer.
Jake Paul, Tank Davis fight got moved to Miami.
I think Jake wins.
Jake's just so big, dude.
I think Jake wins.
This is different because it's similar. It's similar to Logan versus Mayweather, but
Jake has better
Paul
boxing.
now obviously is way more advanced than where Logan was at that moment in time.
I mean,
Gervonta
it's
is
just
fucking sick.
I mean, yeah, no, but dude,
Did you
Jake.
ever watch his highlights?
Jake can
He's
crack,
nasty,
man.
bro.
He's so sick.
He's
I love
nasty.
that guy, bro.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're gonna do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're gonna spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Tank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a
UFC President Dana White didn't hold back when talking about the possible fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Tank Davis. He said that not many people are truly excited for the matchup, but admitted it could still benefit Davis. Lately, Davis has faced negative publicity and lost some momentum outside the ring, which has left him in a tough spot. According to White, Paul's offer at this time gives Davis a chance to regain attention and earn money. White added that while many people question the fight's legitimacy, it could help Davis financially and publicly when he needs it most. He believes Paul's height, reach, and raw strength would allow him to pressure Davis constantly, leaning in, clinching, and shutting down his offense. Though White acknowledged Davis's skill and power, he argued that facing someone much bigger could cancel out those strengths. In the end, White said this fight wouldn't just be about boxing skill, but about whether Davis can handle and overcome Paul's physical dominance in the ring.
Jake Paul to beat Gervonta Davis. This is not a fight that I'm excited for at all. I would rather have Gervonta Davis fighting in a real boxing match against the likes of Lamont Roach, Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, Emmanuel Navarrete, anybody that is in the 135-pound division and around. That's where I want to see Gervonta Davis fight. However, we live in a world where everybody is trying to do things as big as possible. And the biggest fights possible right now, unfortunately for the sport of boxing, is an exhibition fight between Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. So I do like it for this reason, though. I like it because it is allowing Gervonta Davis to have a fight that is going to be big and that the mainstream media is going to have to cover, the mainstream media outside the world of boxing. Gervonta Davis has been, without a doubt, blocked, having venues blocked, having fighters, having other promoters paying fighters away to go different directions from Gervonta Davis. So Gervonta Davis was in a bit of a hole. And he gets an opportunity to fight Jake Paul for $200 million or whatever. I don't mind it at all. As long as Gervonta Davis comes back to the world of boxing after he gets done with this, hey man, you got your money, no worries. But you gotta love Dana White having the audacity to pick Jake Paul in this fight and says something to the effect that, hey, he was talking to Logan Paul and said, hey, when you were fighting Floyd, you know, there was this, you're a gigantic guy, big size difference. There was a time when Floyd Mayweather Jr. had an overhand right that landed flush on Jake.
Bare-knuckle fighter and former UFC star Mike Perry didn't hold back when talking about the rumored fight between Gervonta Tank Davis and Jake Paul. Perry criticized Davis for taking what he called a cash grab fight instead of going after real boxing challenges. He questioned whether Davis still has the same passion and hunger that once made him a world champion. According to Perry, Davis choosing to fight a YouTuber-turned-boxer shows he's more interested in fame and money than in building his boxing legacy. Perry even claimed that Jake Paul's work ethic and motivation might now be stronger than Davis's. His remarks sparked strong reactions from fans, reigniting the debate about what truly drives Davis at this point in his career.
He is big. Tank has a lot of skill, but I don't think he's the same Tank that we saw the most incredible knockouts. We saw him, Lamont Roach performed great. They went to draw, and, I just don't know. And Tank walked away. I don't know if he loves it enough to beat a guy who outweighs him by 80 to 100 pounds.
During the face-off with Jake Paul, Gervonta Tank Davis seemed unusually nervous, something rarely seen from the normally confident knockout artist. Observers noticed his stiff posture, lack of eye contact, and forced calmness, suggesting that the big size difference between him and Paul might have affected his confidence. Standing across from the much larger JakePaul, Davis appeared to realize the tough physical challenge ahead. While some fans think he was just staying focused and composed, others saw his behavior as a possible sign of uncertainty.
Comfortable facing off. He just did. I've seen other face-off this Tank done. He gets in their face and they're intense and he looks good. He looked very meager up there. You've had 8 fights and you're gonna go tangle with Tank Davis. And the story instantly comes out. Jake is so much bigger. There is such a compliment to Jake within that insult. It is meant to be an insult. It is meant to take away from a potentially glorious moment for Jake. But where the compliment comes is it means the public believes he's going to win.
Teddy Atlas shared his thoughts on the face-off between JakePaul and Gervonta Tank Davis, highlighting the huge size difference between them. The veteran boxing analyst even joked that Tank is so much smaller than Jake, he'd need a ladder just to reach his chin. Atlas admitted that differences in skill and style are normal in boxing, but said this physical gap is far too extreme. He compared it to Canelo Alvarez moving up to fight Terence Crawford, pointing out that even Crawford was never as undersized as Davis is against Paul. In Atlas's view, Tank's shorter reach and smaller frame make this matchup look completely one-sided, more of a show than a fair fight.
They should also have like the size of the ring, the size of the glove, all that stuff. Particulars should be in the contract. But I would probably look for one thing that is not the common thing to have in a contract if I'm Tank: a ladder. A ladder. Can I get a ladder? Somebody? You know what I mean? Hey, look, if he hits him on the chin the way he can punch, Jake might be doing a dance. You know what I mean? Not voluntarily either. But we'll get into that more later. The thing that I'm talking about right here is what you said. It was stark. The size difference was really, you couldn't ignore it. We understand the talent difference, the experience difference. We understand all of that. But the size, the pure, and we understand small guys can beat big guys. We just saw Crawford do it to Canelo, but a little different. The size difference was, it was eye-catching, jaw-dropping. And it made me think, and I'm going to ask Richie, our man here who's doing all the taping, who does such a marvelous job. I'm going to ask him, because I know he's an expert in this area. But it reminded me of one of the Rocky movies where they had the face, where they did the wrestling thing with Rocky and Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Thunderlips. He was Thunderlips back there. And I thought I had it right, and it was confirmed to me,